Good morning. Welcome to OptionsTender. We're taking a look at SPX. We'll go around the horn with the other indices on the daily time frame and the 65. We have some levels for you. I added on 2 new indicators to help us see where the reversal may come from. Now, you have the volume over there. You have the Elliott Oscillator. Those are wonderful tools that will add on to our list. And so we're doing this intraday, about 11:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in getting these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube member. All right, that helps support the channel and keep these videos going. Thank you very much. So over the weekend, we talked about some zones where this price action could go to, and we also talked about the bear market 2025 scenarios that you gotta watch it. Either make new highs, I know that sounds crazy, or make a lower high for the continuation of the bear market. So, and I did some comparisons of what bear market lows look like, what different bear markets from the 70s, from 2008, how those look. So make sure you check that out. It's a little bit long. It's almost an hour, I believe. But play it at 1.25 speed or 1.5 speed. All of these videos, so you can get much more information in a shorter amount of time. Okay, so we have good levels coming up here. We clearly had a reaction off of a level today. We have a former all-time high that price just about reached and saw a reaction off of. I don't really think this is the low, even though you're getting a pause candle. I think we have some more lows heading into Friday with the momentum being here, but we might get a little bit of chop for the next day or so and then find ourselves lower. I'm trying to look for a low into Friday, or if Friday is negative, and I don't mean a gap down into Friday, and I think we'll probably buy if we're into our buy zone. All right. But if Friday starts off maybe positive, ends up negative, then we'll probably have a continuation down to lower levels on Monday. And then we'll look for turnaround Tuesday. So I think that the low is near. I don't think it's in. And we have some good zones here to look at. So let's go into it. Now, when you're looking just on a traditional technical analysis, it's a technical analysis. The traditional way is just optical. You have patterns and you have trend lines and such. And so looking at the consolidation area here, there would be a good point for a reaction of these lows. So could the low be in just from this consolidation area, this point right here? Possibly. And you'll see after I put up some of the indicators that we might even be able to make it all the way down. If you notice, this is the triangle, this consolidation or equilibrium. Well, we have a volume shelf right here at 4,500 or so, right in this zone. So that would be my very maximum spot that I'm looking for. Price usually doesn't give you what you want, so we'll look in a large zone for a buy, and we'll scale into some in-out spreads before that. Probably into Friday, we'll start with that strategy, looking for a reversal bottom. And just like today, you saw a huge move. I think even the low will have a bigger move than this one that we had today. There's a possibility that, intraday we can move up to 1,000 SPX points. It is possible, and I showed that on the weekend. Okay, so looking at the moving averages, clearly everything is down. Nothing to interpret here. McClellan Oscillator starting to make new lows. Okay, so we're not finding any positive divergence here. And if this is a wave 4 going into 5, which that's what I'm going to show you a little bit later on, then it's likely that we'll see some sort of positive divergence here. It doesn't have to, but it's likely we will. Just like this, some people probably thought that was the low right there. Got a nice bounce, nice big bounce, and then made a new low, which gave us a positive divergence in that move. So we'll keep our eye out on that. Okay, the OptionsTender look here. We have the MACD, and we saw that burning through right away. So do we get some sort of a sign of a positive divergence or so in the next low that we make? We'll see. All right, super oversold here. We're in the 9 area, and so that's why we had that snapback. Now I would like to see, with a little consolidation, a higher low here in RSI with the lower low. Again, positive divergence we're looking for. So I'll leave those. That's why I'm just leaving them there. We don't have it right now. And then I want to see this cycle as a early buy signal here on the 20 on the slow stoke. So again, we'll keep our eye on that. That's not the case so far. A lot of fake news today. So that happened in 2018, often with the trade war with China. So we're just going to see these tweets or whatever you call them now, these X's and things like that out there. DMARC. All right, following along, we're at a 7 count, 10 count. We'll see if we can get a 9 count. That's 2 days. I think it's likely now that we get a 9 count exhaustion, and we can have a buy signal, and probably a 913 is really looking good here into this zone right around here. All right, I love that 4,700 area. So that's where I might start scaling into those in-out spreads, but easily this is a zone here. Let me just put this over here. I did draw it out in SPY, but I don't think I'm going to leave it narrow like this, but I really think the zone goes all the way to 4,500. So we'll leave it there. Even if price spikes through, no big deal. Just like these here. And those are some of our supports. And again, this is a bow and arrow support resistance that we call this right here, because we have a volume shelf there. Okay, awesome oscillator. We made a new low in the awesome oscillator. So again, I think we're likely to see some sort of positive divergence coming up here soon, coming to a theater near you. Speaking of, that's what I was doing yesterday. The kids want to see Minecraft. They're teenagers and they want to see Minecraft. So we went there and I did work. My wife and I did work while sitting outside the theater because we did not want to see it. Okay, let's go to SPY. Okay, so the money flow index. Again, this crash action here, still a positive divergence, but clearly that wasn't a buy signal right off the bat here after losing the 550 area. But we're still looking for that higher low at this point. Bollinger Band just stretching way out. It's ridiculous, but it's technically, if you're a position trader, this is a good buy signal here, because once price makes a low, it's going to spike through here. So if you're doing what I call duration, that's not my setup. That's a Theo trade. That would be 3 months out at minimum, 90 days, well or deep in the money calls. Then you have a nice buy signal on the Bollinger Band setup. And now here's the volume shelf. Really good look here. You can see that we had a volume shelf here. That's really where we're at. And you saw price fall directly through these other ones. Pause there intraday in this one. Just a devastating move to the downside. So we're looking at another volume shelf here around 455 if price wants to break this 470 node here. All right, so if we break down from 470, I think it's safe to say we'll probably make it all the way down to that 455 or so lower. All right, well, we'll get some probably some lows in there, but we have to break this one first. So I really like that 470 spot there. All right. And then with our Elliott Oscillator, I look at this one on the 65-minute and the daily often. And so, again, we're making these new lows here. Does a really good job at showing, I don't really want to call it a positive divergence, but it loves to show from the B wave to C and also the wave 4 to 5. Okay, so you have a 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has a low at wave 4, and then the wave 5 goes lower, and we have, I guess we'll just positive divergence, a signal that the wave 5 is in it. And I think we'll be looking for that. It doesn't have to happen because it just really, unless we can form some sort of, inside day or something like that. But in a crash situation, sometimes you don't even see that wave 4 in there. It's intraday, and so you don't get it within there. So we'll have to see. Again, we'll check these out quickly each and every day. And now I'll revisit, first of all, the traditional look. Bearish rising wedge. Broke down from the wedge, continuing into our bounce area. And so you see the 460, that's actually a one standard deviation from this 411 volume or virgin point of control. Thanks, Jen Mill, by the way. He helped me work on my volume indicators, and I appreciate you with that. And I love the people in the Discord. Again, we have some great traders. We have people that trade different styles. And so it's just such a friendly place here. And if you want to, get in for 99 cents a month, you can join. And it's not just about me. It's a great community where you can continue to grow your own trading and ask questions. And there's all different levels of traders in there. So consider that. And from this point of view, we had about 100-point intraday move here. And so we got that move. I know that the arrow points out here. We got that move, and then we headed lower. That's what I was talking about on Friday. That's where we're at. Do I think the ultimate low is in? No. So we are almost here. You see that consolidation area? We're almost to the bounce zone, or the bottom zone, in my opinion. And I'm really looking at this area as being that, but it's not unheard of. That price gets all the way down back to this virgin point of control. Okay, so be it. We're not just gonna outright buy calls. And speaking of, options premiums are way, way, way too high to just buy outright calls. We're going to use spreads. We're going to use in-out spreads. And also, I might as well say it now, we're going to start a futures. I already formed one in the Discord, a futures channel. So we'll begin to trade futures at some point in the near future. No pun intended. And we'll look for some lows to come in to trade those. And that's just a better way to trade than outright calls or puts because of the options premium. And then when we do get our low in, the VIX is going to get crushed, okay? And your premiums will be sucked out of there. When you do spreads, especially the in-out spreads, it gives you about 30 days of time, and that's well more than enough to catch a bottom. And then it protects you from volatility, from Vega, from protects you from theta, from time decay. So check out the Greeks if you're not familiar with option strategies. And I'll post those trade alerts coming up here probably near Friday. So we'll be in there. All right. Okay, so time and price, again, 410. So that's Thursday. We're looking at between 410 and going into Tuesday the next week. We're looking for a cluster there for a low. I believe that's the 14th. I think that's correct there. But that's our next cluster. And so we'll be looking for a low then. And with our ending diagonal look here, that's what we're talking about. So we got to the zone for a bounce, and we're looking for some sort of little bounce in here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I don't know if that's intraday, but I suspect that we'll have 2-3 days of some sort of candles inside here or around this area before heading lower into a wave 5. So this is how we're interpreting this right now. And make sure you stick around for the 65-minute, because I will give you the exact strategy of how we're playing this. If this happens, then this, okay? So right now we're interpreting this as an A, B, and then a C wave, and that's for a larger degree A, okay? We're looking for a bounce, and then we're looking for lower prices. I think that is our primary situation. There is an example, and I'm not going to go through right now, where we could make new highs. That's in the video from the weekend, so I'll post that at the end. Okay, so let's go over to the Qs. We'll go around the horn real quick, get a good look what's happening. I haven't even really updated a lot of these things. I've been just focused on SPX and SPY. So eventually we're looking for some sort of positive divergence. So I'm just getting those ready. Do we come all the way to the point of control here? Possibly, but we have a lot of levels within here. And listen, keep in mind that we can't see 5 waves in here yet, but the Qs may make a higher low before, while the overall S&P makes a lower low too. So we don't want to get thrown off by that. But it looks like our next level, I'm going to guess, looks about the 383 zone, and we'll look for positive divergences. And then you have this trend line that can be moved a little bit. Okay, you have a couple lows that it can be used as. So if we use that low, either one, it looks like this confluence between the trend line here and the support here, looks like we might be able to get our consolidation, our last low. So that will be an objective buy there at that point. SMH, just huge moves. And we have a good zone about here. And again, SMH led by NVIDIA could make a higher low. This could possibly be in. You may have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move, or 1, 2, 3. We had our 4 here and 5. This low really could be in from this consolidation area here. You have support that we're at right now. And so there's nothing that says this is already done and this starts to lead the market to the upside and again make a higher low while the other markets make a lower low. IWM, just a massive move. IWM, while SMH may gain some strength, maybe this one gets down to the bottom of this consolidation zone, this range play that played out for a year or so. Maybe we get to the bottom there, and this helps drag the market down to new lows. And this will be certainly an objective buy zone down here at 160, about 165 area, 162 to 165. And then we'll look to see what happens after that. You can take those channels and all that stuff out there. They did not hold. And then you see the buy zone for the diamonds is pretty clear at this point too. So We'll see if we get some sort of bounce in here. We make it into the buy zones, and I won't be buying diamonds. We'll be looking for those in-out spreads on individual names like Tesla and Nvidia, and then we'll have some futures trading going on coming up here really soon. VIX, insane. Might make a new high here with the new lows in SPX. If not, then maybe we get a lower high here in the VIX while SPY makes a new low, and that would be some sort of divergence and some sort of sign that there may be reversal imminent. All right. SPY. Let's go to 65. On that 65 minute, this clearly did not hold anything. We had a potential channel that we were looking at there. It may hold price down from a back test, not sure. Not really important to us right now, so we'll just kind of dim this out. Okay, so you can see it clearly. There's not really much structure going on in here. I think we might have had our bounce. Not a whole lot to look at. We made it to the options expected move to the downside. So quick there. I believe it was 344 points or so. Just massive moves. Now, in my opinion, I think this huge options expected move, next week's options expected move, will not be hit to the downside. And again, we covered that in the market analysis, the bear market update of 2025. So I don't think that will be the case. And I showed you examples. Let's go. That was the former all-time high there, by the way. 480. Didn't quite touch it, but we're getting there. We closed that gap. We closed a lot of gaps. Close that gap. We have an island gap here. Now, if we go to this board, we're in a cluster right now. So I think that's what's giving us our bounce. We also have that 382 where you're going to find buyers at. We've left that there. So we have this bounce zone or low. I mean, technically this could be a low. Let me hide these now so we can clear up our board. And this one's coming up on that's today. So yeah, just a nice cluster for either a low or a bounce. And here's how we're going to play this. So at this point, we have a cycle coming in for low into Friday. So I don't think that this is the case that 1, 2, 3, and then that bounce on Friday was wave 4, and then wave 5 is in. I don't really think that's the case, but if it is, then what we'll be looking for is going into Friday and early next week is we'll be looking for a higher low. Okay, so that's possible. But right now, primarily, I think that we're going to get a new low, that this is wave 3. All right, and then we had this also works out well with, and I think we'll get our wave 4 here today. So what we're going to do, and then we get a new low with wave 5. Okay, ignore these. Well, don't ignore them. These new lows. And that's not at the level that I think. It's just showing a projection. It's a primary scenario. And so what we're looking for is you take the top of wave 2 down to the bottom of the potential wave 3. And what we're looking at is this 382. The 514 is going to be our most important level to trade off of. 514, you had the wicks through it today. You had that big wick, and you're making a lower high here already. So this could be some sort of ending diagonal into Friday. That's a possibility, or maybe we make a triangle and then break down from it. There's lots of things that could happen, but this 514 is our bull bear line here. So if price action can get over the 514 and hold, then we know the low is in, because our wave 4, which is going to be lower, which I think maybe in this cluster here, Thursday and Friday, could be our low in here. Okay, so we'll look at that. So I think wave 4 is in with the spike. We'll see some sort of price action choppiness, like we talked about yesterday, and we'll look for a new low there. And again, if we break above and hold above 514 with a higher low going into maybe Friday or even next Tuesday, that's the zone, then breaking above here, then we can start going long at that point. But I think it will be an event. I don't think this was the event. This low will probably bring us a massive move with a VIX crush, and that's why I want to have those spreads ready, and that's why I want to have our futures account intact. And if you want to trade, it seems like every platform has them now. So Robinhood has full access to what we're going to use as MES, the micros. The E-minis is ES, and then the micros is MES. All right, so 514, the most important zone that we have at this point. And this could be a wave 1 that is completed, or an A. I think we changed this to an A. And I don't want to leave out the fact that if we want to get to 440 or so, if price bounces again, we're going to do this another time. Okay, so if and when we make this new low, I'm going to do the same strategy. All right, and we'll work on it then, but we'll put this higher, and then we'll go to the lows of the next one, and we'll use the same strategy, because this potentially could be a wave 1. This be a shallow wave 2, and the new low will bring a wave 3, and then we have a wave 4, and then another low for a wave 5. So I can't leave that this whole thing, that this could be an impulse all the way down, where we get that 5-wave move that like I said, I wasn't expecting this to begin a 5-wave, but I think the 3-wave will give us positive divergence and we'll get our low in. But we'll have to have a plan strategy out there, and that's what this is. This is what I'm giving you. 514 is our bull bear line. All right, the Qs. Down to the zone here. Let's look at down to the options expected move. Close some gaps. We'll have to add some gaps. Boom, boom. FOMC is May 7th. We'll see what happens around FOMC. Just some gaps still to close down here. So, you could get our bounce and then look for some new lows into maybe 380, 385. It's possible. SMH, just to give you a look at these. At options expected move, I don't have any gaps. I bet you there are gaps down there, so I'll have to add those in. Sorry, not much to show you. I did not do the indicators on SPY. I gotta start doing these live so you guys can say, hey, wait a minute, what are you doing? All right, so let's go back here. So once again, we burned all the way down to brand new lows, extreme moves here. So I want to see some positive divergence form, and I believe our bottom will be close or in at that point. Got a new one here, but I want to see probably like a three trench low here with positive divergence. So we'll be looking out for those. So we have one already, but I suspect we'll form a bigger one. And we're getting that near-term buy, and maybe the cycle's up throughout the consolidation, and we'll see where that is. So definitely don't want to have like puts right into this zone here. You have the headwinds with the slow stoke there. DMARC. So far, we're into a 6. All right, looks like we're triangulating. Lower high, lower high, lower high, higher low. Looks like we might get a little triangle here for wave 4 and then head lower. And so you have our 9. As long as we don't get above the last 4 candles, then we should keep this count going, and we should get a 9 count buy signal, a 9-9 that would be. Seems to be working out really nice. All right, awesome. Oscillator made brand new lows just like everything else, so we'll be looking for a positive divergence if we make a new low there. Bollinger Band. Boom. Again, if we make new lows, that'll be another buy signal. So you did get a buy signal today. And if you caught the bounce, awesome work, you guys. Didn't look at the volume shelf in this time frame, but it looks like that 475 seems to be the nice shelf here, all the way down to 468. So again, this is pretty. I'm looking at that 470 area is really looking good for me, and but price it's so volatile, it could just spike through, and 470 still be a really good zone. Not looking for much more price action lower than 470, at least intraday, right? And here's the Elliott Oscillator. So made brand new lows here, and we will, if we make a new low on the 65, we will see a positive divergence there. And so we'll be looking for that wave 4 into 5 to occur on the Elliott Oscillator. So we'll make sure we check that out and stick around. IWM. It's almost like you just really kind of need to take the daily time frames when price just really is moving this quick. And so again, this might be some sort of wave 4 in here. We reached the point of control here, but we have some lower prices. This is how I used to chart support and resistance, and so we're getting back into those zones monthly right here at 164. I don't use that style anymore, but we're coming back into it. Wow, and I think we'll tag it because that's the lower end. Crazy wiped out a lot of price action. 65, you can't really even see anything in here, but this still could be wave 3, and we have some support coming up at 365 that we didn't get to yet, so that could be your wave 5 in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move. Then we'll look for a lower high at that point. And I've been telling you this could be an ABC as well, where you get your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could be an ABC where it's just a larger degree A, and then you get your huge B. And again, I reiterate, wave Bs are not fun. It could be just straight up into a zigzag or something like that, but it could end up being a triangle, a flat pattern. It could be all sorts of things to waste time. And then we can get our C wave, our devastating C wave move that could last for quite some time. And that would be our bear market follow through to where I think that we're looking for June or so next year to end this. So we might have to waste some time going into a little bit of positivity for a while into whatever time frame, the end of the year or fall, and then we'll see possibly the bear market continue at that point. But I think this first run of the bear market is almost over. and we've hit some really, really good levels so far. Look at that. Our breakout here from that zone. And maybe we back test all the way back down here for that crush. Kind of close that. We have looks like we have an island gap here. And all of these are going to close eventually, guys. This will all cycle back down before getting our next bear market, and we're going to make new highs off of that, probably into the hundreds or so. So this was the first shot across the bow, and I think we'll come close a lot of these, and then again work our way much higher. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I want to see if I can measure this here. And so from high to low so far, let's put it in the middle. High to low so far, we've broken down about 46 days, and it's about 20%. So a lot of people are going to call bear market on this move, and I think that will just be the beginning of a bear market. Okay, that's actually not a bad trend line there for support, like a spike through. But wow, if you touch some of those points, I'm gonna leave that on there. Touch some of those points that spike through, but yeah, maybe that's a good support there from the lows. Who would have ever thought such a steep move? And then we get a bounce, make a low one more time, and then we'll have a downtrend line to pay attention to. Also, after we make new lows, we're likely to make our A wave into that trend line and break down into some sort of B. The B can be anything, so we'll be anyway. So this is a larger degree B. So we get A, B, and then we'll move higher from that point. So we'll keep track of this downtrend. We're going to be in a technical downtrend as long as we're below this in a structure wise, but we'll see if we can make a higher low after making new lows. All right, you guys, I'll let you go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.